Welcome to one of the many podcasts that the five of us will be doing. We'll be talking about a range of things. We'll be talking about what we did in FitFest, why we did FitFest. We'll talk about women in sports. We talk about how to stay motivated, how to stay disciplined, and how we deal with our lives outside of sport. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce us, starting with this gentleman over here.
Hey guys, my name is Nash.
Hi guys, my name is Rafini.
Hi guys, my name is Ming.
And I'm Liana.
And I am Muis Ahmad, and today we'll be talking about the FitFest event that happened on July 3rd and 4th.
Woo! Yeah. Woo!
So, yeah, it's been a long time after lockdown, after a busy few months.
Wait, July, right?
Yeah, July.
We are recording
3
this
months?
in November.
Yeah.
End of November.
Today is November 28th.
4 months.
Nearly the end of the year. Yeah. So, Fini, tell us about FitFest. What was it and why did we do it?
So I think initially it was a conversation started between me and Lynn. I think Lynn approached me to kind of approach the powerlifting community, because obviously weightlifting and powerlifting was such a niche sport and not many people knew about the sport. And I think we came together and we decided, because prosthetics then was closed, and so none of the powerlifters had a proper gym to kind of go to. So the community kind of just spread out, and everyone wasn't training together. And so Lynn kind of said, why don't we have you guys can come over to J-Box and have the community there and train there together and stuff. And I think over a few minutes or so, it just ended up to a competition or event that we wanted to do. I think that's how initially it started, and it kind of just got bigger because we talked about 2 events that we wanted to do, which is just the weightlifting and powerlifting event, and then it kind of just blew up.
Yeah, blew up.
From there, yeah.
From there, it blew up.
I think the formation of the team was kind of like a snowball thing, because initially we didn't know what we wanted to do per se. We didn't know exactly that we wanted to do FitFest. It wasn't a thing yet. So the conversation started a year ago. Yeah, right, about a year ago. It's somewhere in November. Because I was telling Nash that it has always been a dream for us to bring all sports together and really boost the sporting community, the fitness community out there. And we're talking, and because we're very close to the powerlifting community, we've trained together a few times at Prosthetics, and we really like the guys there. So I was asking Nash, who do you think I should speak to? And he's like, why don't you speak to Rafini, because she's the president of the powerlifting federation here. So then we spoke, and we thought that it would be a really good idea to hold meets, because that's something that we feel that's lacking or that's missing. 2 weightlifting meets have been held in Brunei, so we thought, why not we kind of carry that over and then do that with the powerlifting community, because we're both really smaller, niche sports that we feel together it could really help each other out. So that's when the conversation started. There's me, Fini, and Nash as well, and then
So how did me and Ming get onto the team?
I think you went on first.
Mine,
right?
I think mine was the most random one. I think.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it to you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nash was just we're just doing this thing.
Yeah.
It was pretty random. Nash was like, oh yeah, so.
Because I know you said you studied event management.
Yeah.
So I feel like the need. I mean, I even told Lynn about this, and I was like, what if I just say that to Moise? Maybe he wants to help out.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah, he did. He was just like, oh yeah, would you do this? Oh yeah, I'd love to help. He didn't even have to ask me. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So yeah, and then because I was PTing with Nash, he was my coach, and then I was just like, yeah, why not? And then Ming.
I don't know, man. I don't know the story behind me.
I don't remember.
You know what? I actually don't remember either.
Really mentioned to you.
I mean,
No, 'cause I think I asked you about using your equipment.
Yes.
Of course.
These equipment.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember I was asking you about equipment and like how much it would like be, and you didn't even reply me at all. And
Yeah, so the conversation started with Penny asking to borrow my Eleiko full set for the powerlifting competition. And I was panicking at the time because I did not know how to price it, or I didn't know what to do. And then I kind of felt bad to charge them as well, so I was just like, why don't you just let me help you and I'll join the team. And I mean, when was that? That was like in January, February. That was my first time meeting Lynn and Nash as well,
Oh yeah.
in Coffee Bean.
Yeah.
That afternoon, right? We just
I remember that.
Kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah.
That was when we tried to figure out what that system we used for the
Yeah.
powerlifting was.
Yeah.
Or something.
Score sheet?
Yeah, the score sheet. The score sheet.
That's also when we figure out what should be the name of this.
Oh my
event.
god. Yeah.
I think it started off as like
Fit Expo.
Fit Expo. It sounds so bad.
That's what 2031.
Sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Fit Expo.
We thought we would come up with something more creative, but it ended up to be the fitness
FitFest.
festival anyways. So
Yeah.
I guess there's that.
Now that we did the event and we like, obviously we kind of met our goal. What does it mean to you guys? What does FitFest mean to us?
I guess you can start.
Well, FitFest to me means, you know, I mean, obviously aside from being part of an events crew for the first time properly and having like well, I'd say it's a pretty large scale event for Brunei. I'd say to me it means it was really nice. It was nice bringing like different sports in and everything, and then like seeing everybody compete. It's kind of hard actually to find what it means to you, but I think it's like my little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, true. For me as well, like it's kind of a feeling where you started off something
Yeah.
and you would want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it means a lot just because I am a part of a niche sport.
Yeah.
So having other niche sport getting the recognition is all that it's about. So we see all other, typical sports in Brunei getting promoted or getting on the headlines, but
Yeah.
not these niche sports. But usually the niche sports are what actually also brings other sports up.
Yeah, so it was just like, it was so nice to bring like a whole community of
Yeah.
like, I mean, you won't expect like some guy who's playing ultimate frisbee to be watching some powerlifting.
Yeah.
Same with like scuba diving or like roller skating, So it was nice to bring like a whole community together. So having that cohesiveness was quite nice. It was very satisfying.
I think it was very special for like all of us because, I mean, for everyone who doesn't know, we come from different sporting backgrounds.
Yeah.
So there's like Ming and Feeney doing powerlifting, Wiz swimmer, and then there's Nash and I who do weightlifting. So it was kind of perfect. The dynamics work between us, and it also sort of reflected in the event because there's just bringing everybody together, and that has been something that we've always wanted to do. And then like coming out of the event, like actually carrying out the event was a little bit, well, to me it was a little bit surreal. Like we didn't think we would pull it off. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, we thought that so many times we would actually fail,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't even turn out the way we thought it would.
I think we were just really expecting failure, which is good.
Yeah.
Like-
We
Yeah.
had like a few scares here and there because it was
Yeah.
still like COVID period,
Yeah.
and like everything that MOH would post or anything would just. I remember in March we had like the biggest
We had a
scare.
scare.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, why?
With the rumor of the
The school.
student, the
Yeah.
students crossing to Limbang or something.
Oh,
Yeah, it's true.
And then there was a viral message.
Yeah.
And we're all like,
That
oh
was the
no.
scariest one.
This is
Well,
so
they-
scary.
Yeah, actually, talking about like the event planning, everybody always asks, how did you guys do it? I'm like, I don't know.
Honestly, we
It
don't know.
just happened.
But yeah, actually thinking
Five
about
of
it,
us.
it was just a lot of time spent on Google Documents trying to figure out where my document is.
And a lot of Saturday night meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Because obviously this was like our side thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Ming was working at Deloitte at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys have your PT. Feeney's still at there, and I'm training at uni. So this is our weekend thing or our lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
It's really like juggling work, training, and this. So like I think it was a struggle of. We also needed to prioritize this because if we were gonna pull off an event this big, it just sort of snowballed into something really big.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of got out of hand for a second. And then when we kind of realized that it was going to be big, we had to sort of, sit down and think about how can this not be a sideline thing for all 5 of us, because it's not something that we do for a living. At least not yet. It's like we do this because we want to. We do this because we want to give back to the community. We want this to eventually grow.
It was really fun, even though it was really stressful. It was really fun.
Was really stressful.
It was really fun.
Like yeah, I mean like it was so stressful when like
It was chaotic.
yeah, it was.
There was a beautiful chaos.
And then
chaos.
It was like good stress.
I think the last 2 months leading up to the event, that's when everything sort of came together, but also not. So everyone was like panicking, but then
Things were going wrong. Vendors were pulling out. Sponsors weren't giving us our stuff, and then like and then
I think it was crazy, but I think it was something for us to learn as well on how to
how to deal
do
with
better.
that.
I guess for like future FitFest.
We gotta include in our planning that we should have a plan when our plan don't work. Like that's the one plan that we need next time.
Yeah.
I guess we could also talk about like how we selected sports and how we selected vendors and how it just because I feel like when an event like this happens, anything that the public sees is just what we want them to see, right? Not really how things are carefully picked out, or we'd like to think it's carefully picked out. Everything worked out, anyways. But they were curated kind of by us, and to serve what we want people to experience and what we want people to see.
Yeah, so when we curated it, obviously there was weightlifting and powerlifting. And then how did we come up with the other sports?
Yeah, I think we had like an initial conversation, right? Like,
I think we were looking at small sports in Brunei, like who needed, everybody needs it, but like who is willing to be part of it? Or who needed exposure?
Like the list is like a long list, but it all goes down to who wants to.
My favorite one that came about was the roller skating.
Yeah.
Because I think
That was so random.
it was really random. Because I remember I just went up to you guys and I was like, I like mentioned like roller skating to everybody, and because so Dan from Local Skates was living in Brunei at the time, and I'm quite my family's quite close to his partner's family. And she was like, oh yeah, Dan wants to do this roller skate thing. You're doing an event, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, let's have a meeting. And then and he looked at the basketball court and he's like, yeah, I can do that. And I was like, okay, cool, welcome aboard. And then
it's like Dan with one roller.
Me and Nash went to go meet him, and then he had like a coffee in his, like a smoothie in his hand or something, or iced coffee, and then he had one roller skate on, and he was like roller skating around like the basketball court on one leg. You're like, what the heck? Who is this guy?
Like one time through, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm happy with this.
And you're like, great, more vendors.
I think he even offered to hold his hands, and then he's like, no, I'm sorry.
I was like, do you want me to hold that for you? He's like, nope. And he's like, they're sipping on his thing while he's like roller skating. I'm like,
I think also like in terms of choosing the sports vendors, it was kind of a build up of I think experiences in terms of seeing the sports in Brunei. So like you have those different communities, like for example the frisbee, like even boxing and stuff, where they have events, but it's not catered to a lot of people, or people the public aren't aware of it. And I think that as well led up to how we chose the sports vendors.
And to be honest, I think it was like a perfect timing because we obviously had lockdown the year before that, so nothing much was going on.
People were deprived
You know,
of
and nobody could travel.
something.
So when we had that, it was so like everybody, people who weren't, you know, I saw people there who don't even do any of the sports that were there.
Yeah.
They were just there. They were just there to have a good time, and it was
They
nice.
just, they just want an event.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
us
nice.
as athletes, we obviously want to compete.
compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little something for everyone. I felt like the more we planned it, the more we realized that this isn't just catered towards athletes. It's catered to families. That's why we had
Yeah,
Omnisports
Omnisports.
come in for kids, so they can bring their kids in. You know, it also promotes fitness at a very early age, sports at a very early age, because to create really, really elite athletes, really good athletes, they always have to start at an early age. So it complements each other, and then we want people to come in, and that's why we brought in the food, because there's not an event in Brunei that is successful without food. And everyone just loves food, and I think that was one of our most favorite parts.
Yeah, my favorite.
What is his favorite part?
My favorite part was the food, bro. The amount of times I would go to Happy Cream. And
Yeah, for
Cake.
both of the days.
Both of the days. The amount of,
Burgers,
the
Yeah.
amount of coffees I had. Oh
It
man,
was a good day.
it was a good day.
Wendy's burger, Summer's taste.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
this taste, and then
great week.
what's it?
Food.
Birdhouse,
It was so good.
and then all the desserts as well.
I kind of miss it now.
Yeah, I
Talking
do
about
miss
it.
it.
Yeah.
So, you know, what do you think we could have done? What do you think didn't go well?
I think it was like. I mean, like, I think this isn't visible to the public eye, but we had a few logistics mishaps.
Yeah.
We did. It was just kind of concealed. It wasn't big enough for people to realize, I think, but it was big enough to cause a bit of a stir between.
Oh yeah, there was
all
one.
five of us.
There was one. I think on that morning on Saturday, I spent the night before. We were there quite late.
Yeah.
Like until like 11 p.m. and then we all had to wake up early again. And then
Chris was so mad at everyone. He was like, "You guys have to go home now. We have to sleep."
yeah, I was like, guys, we have to sleep. We have to sleep.
Competing tomorrow.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are competing tomorrow. And I was so stressed out that night because I was like waiting for everybody, like
He's like, "Go."
for like the signs and like the some of the
Yeah.
cars and whatever that was there. Like people were so slow. I'm like, come on, hurry up! And then like it was so funny because I spent forever at night trying to figure out how to put this London kebab trailer
Oh yeah.
in front where everybody could see, and they were like, yeah, put it here, we can put it here, everybody can see, you know, it's nice because everybody goes past it. Then last minute in the morning, somebody was like, excuse me, you have to move the trailer. And then the night before, the tire of the trailer broke, so we couldn't move it properly, you know, because it was like a health and safety thing. So then, I mean, we managed to get that done, but it was so funny. It was so funny.
And there's a parking mishap.
Oh yeah, there's a
with
park.
both of you.
Yeah, there's a parking mishap. Me and Nash had to.
We gotta
Yeah.
Push
Look
up
at
cars.
the cars, man.
You know, a lot of people who I've talked to, and I talked to them, they were like, "Oh, you guys did FitFest, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yeah, I saw you pushing the cars." And I was like, "Oh, that's what you remember."
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest one that didn't go well.
Yeah,
like
parking.
not only like in terms of pushing cars, but I guess we underestimated
Yeah,
how many
we-
people
yeah.
were gonna come during FitFest, and like we've been hearing that cars were like parked outside and people were like blocking cars. Yeah, I think I remember on like Saturday when Ming and I didn't compete and we had Lewis as well on Saturday. We were overseeing things, and the number of like papers that we had, like, oh, this car is blocked. This car is blocked. It
Yeah.
was just like I
And
still
then,
have
like,
photos of it.
It was
Like,
funny because at the beginning, our MC Hafiza would be like, "Can the car owner of this," and then at the end it would be like, "Can the car owner of guys, you need to stop parking your car," and, you know.
Stop blocking cars.
Cars were literally parked until like the airport.
Yeah, the airport.
Yeah.
I was so surprised that people were willing to walk all the way in.
It
So.
was insane. The amount of like on Sunday as well, because you guys told me that on Saturday people's cars were stuck right? So then they're like, look out tomorrow. So then people were like calling me saying that this lady's car is stuck, this guy's car is stuck. So I had to go and speak to them, and then they literally asked me, can you push my car out? And I'm like, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I can't do that.
The funniest was when I saw with my own eyes this guy who was parking, right? He was not driving a 4-wheeler, and he knew he was gonna get stuck. He parked. The only reason why he parked was because he was stuck. You know what I mean? So he drove until he got stuck. Then he's like, I closed the door, went out and did his thing, and like, he's like, he didn't even care, you know?
I mean, I'm here for the burger.
Yeah.
I'm
That's me.
He saw you guys.
Yeah.
Those guys were gonna push it out for me.
That was funny too, because one of the field sports guys, they had a car stuck in the ditch
Oh my god.
somewhere.
Outside.
Yeah, outside.
It was outside.
Outside of the outside of our event.
Oh,
And then he's like calling, oh, is this Nash? Like, yeah, it's me. My car's stuck. And then he's like, do you think you can do anything about it? I said, I can take a look at it. And then when I went there, I walked all the way there with our volunteers. And he's like, oh yeah, I got your number from the page or from someone else saying that you probably could help us. I'm like, no. Like, do you know like a tow truck number? I was like, oh yeah, we know. And then it's like, yeah, then just call me. Tow truck number.
And then we like ended up having to
I think
take
he
one of the
expected me to
platforms.
push it.
We ended up taking one of the platforms to like bring it to that field so that the cars could actually go on something. That was funny.
I mean, I think one of the biggest scares, I don't know if you guys even realize it, but like the prep towards the competition platform itself was was a nightmare as well. Like, we all had it planned out in our heads how we wanted to layer it, how we wanted to not damage the badminton court. We used Lewis's judo mats.
Oh man, the judo mats are so random.
Yeah, I think that was.
That was really helpful though.
Yeah, and then we put the plywood on top, and it just didn't want to stay down. And we were like, oh no.
No.
And that was the day before.
That was literally the night before.
So then, like what? I ended up having to tape it to the ground or something.
Nah, and then in the morning I just.
You should drill it as well.
Yeah.
Nah, in the morning I got 2 more pieces, so we had 4
yeah.
pieces,
Oh, yeah.
and then it just stayed. And me and Nash just looked at each other like, all
So-
we had to do was just put 2 more pieces of plywood.
To the side stays
God.
down.
Yeah, and it was crazy as well because that
It was
Friday.
platform.
Yeah, because that Friday we actually had to do a dry run
Yeah.
of dropping the bar.
Oh yeah?
That was my favorite part.
Oh, and I didn't tell the story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was so funny. So let me tell a story. So like, obviously I was the one. I wasn't prepping for any competition, right? So I love lifting. Like I love lifting and then dropping. So, cause you know like when you watch IW like all these competitions, when you see them drop, it's like damn, so satisfying. And like obviously I'm not a lifter, right? So I don't know the difference between this and a bumper plate. So like this will kill you. You know? So like, they were like, oh, we need to do drop tests. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it, guys. No, okay. Yeah, so then I lifted it up and then dropped it from like my knees, right? And after that, this guy, I don't know who he was, came out like you know how there's a balcony?
Yeah.
Then he was like, no, you need to drop it from the top. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did a clean and jerk and I dropped it. And everybody's face just went like dropped. I was like, and then it dented, and I was like, oh.
It didn't even dent, man. It cracked. They're full on crack.
Yeah, it fell on crack.
Like we were around him, we were facing him, we were all like,
This was TikTok. It'll be like, oh no.
I think after that we had to make sure like, oh yeah, it's not gonna be these plates. It's gonna drop from the
Yeah.
top. Like it's gonna be different plates.
So it was a crack and everyone just kept touching it.
And I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. Oh, that was
Oh
funny.
my god, that's funny.
That was insane. That was the night before. And I think it's also like, it's also kind of significant to talk about like how we've all had so many hats coming into the event and during the event itself. Like you did not see Moise sit down at all.
Oh,
The
yeah.
entire weekend. He was
The only-
outside, inside, outside.
The
inside.
only time I sat down was when I had Safa's taste, and I found like a really dark corner, and I was
Enjoying your.
Yeah, he had to find us like a quiet corner.
yeah,
He
I
was like
found one.
texting on the group saying, guys, there's a quiet corner if you need it.
And then the plug in that quiet corner broken. It
Oh!
caught fire
Yeah.
because of the fryers. But yeah, I was not. I didn't sit down. My steps that day were crazy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, for the whole week, but starting Friday, it was like insane.
Yeah.
It was so fun though. I had so much fun.
I think Friday from morning till night was just non-stop.
Yeah, because we were
Yeah.
transporting the
Yeah.
stuff, the competition
things
stuff.
Oh,
out.
that was
happening.
Oh
I think I had
my God.
training as well.
I mean, Sunday we were up till, we were up till like, we went to eat.
We went out to eat it.
We went to eat
Yeah.
at TK at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
End of the event.
We
That's-
stayed so late.
Yeah,
just
we were
staring at each other.
we were the first ones to arrive at the venue, and we were the last ones to leave.
The very
Yeah.
last one. We were packing up at 11.
I kind of made sure that we were
Yeah, I
there
remember
first.
Sunday night now.
We basically finished packing up. We just hang out
We
there.
just stayed. Everyone was
there.
dead.
But I have a-
Like, we all just competed and organized.
Yeah.
I bet if we just stayed there like overnight, the security would understand. Like,
Just
yeah,
don't wake us up.
you wake up next week.
Oh yeah, the week after I was tired.
Yeah. So Friday was like transporting stuff from morning up until like so nighttime. We stayed at peak to like get stuff ready, make sure everything's good, and then came in the next morning to prep for opening. We had an opening ceremony, and then right after opening, I had to go warm up because my heat was first, my flight was first, so I had to go compete. Nash had to come in, handle me, and then we had to swap roles because he competed, and then I handled him while these three run around like crazy people, just like making sure everything, because it's not only the competition area, it's the outside, so like the outside, the field, the vendors, making sure they're okay, the sponsors. And then Sunday, swap roles. We're still going around. These two competed, and their session is like a lot longer. So then there's me and Nash running around. It was
I was just like
these two pushing
telling
cars.
volunteers to do stuff.
Yeah, our volunteers though, they were godsend.
Yeah.
They were
Honestly.
really godsend.
Honestly.
We got very lucky. I
Yeah.
feel with volunteers because we actually didn't know how it was gonna go with them. Like we were I think we were quite nervous with how we communicated what we wanted to them because we were scared that we didn't communicate it well enough and they wouldn't understand what we really wanted. But I mean,
They did really well.
we would want them back.
Yeah.
We
we
couldn't
want
have
them
pulled
back.
it without them.
Yeah, without them, like even on Friday, like those who could make it to come and help us, like fix stuff or do anything on Friday, they were there. Who stayed on Saturday, they were just aware that we had a lot of things to do and they just wanted to help out. And I think that was, as Lynn said, God sent for them to come. But it was also funny because like we would always check like, okay, you guys okay? Like this. But they were checking on us like, are you guys okay? Have you guys eaten? Like
Yeah.
I think that made it more special in a sense that they understood as well, like our roles, and they understood that we were tired as well. And they would just be making sure. I remember like Zakia would always be like, have you eaten? Like on Saturday when
Yeah.
they
It's like getting us
competing.
food.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
And yeah, I think
They took initiative too,
Yeah.
which like, the little things that we didn't think about. The little things that we had no brain cell left to think about on the day, they would come up to
It
us
wasn't
and
on
say,
in the plan.
yeah, hey, did you want me to do this? Or do you think I could do this? And yeah. Yes, please. Like, how do we know that?
Or like that time me and Nash were about to lift the table, and then we got 1, 2, and then these boys came up and they're like, "Do you need help?" And we like I looked at Nash and I was like, "Yep."
yeah.
That was, they made the entire thing run
A lot easier.
Yeah.
for us.
So we're gonna have another one next year.
Yeah, what?
We-
Enough of what we've got. What's our plan?
Enough reminiscing. Let's start planning.
Everyone's been asking.
We're in the transition phase, guys.
Meg announced it already.
Ming announced it. We caught down.
But this is obviously not a one-time thing. From the moment we planned this first one, we knew that this would be like an ongoing thing. It wouldn't be all like a one time and we're gone, because the vision of this entire event came from something that's much deeper than just a one-time thing. It's something that we really want to push out. We're not even done. We didn't even cover all sports. Like not even close. And to all the other sports who feel like, how about us? Like
Reach out.
we tried, we really tried.
I think
It's just like the place wasn't big enough. It was already really big. So it was just the first edition. There's more to come, and we have been planning for bigger and better things as well. So which is why this podcast is coming out, just so people know that things are coming.
So if you're a part of a niche sport, hit us up.
Yeah, let us know.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Love to have
But I think also like just to set expectation, obviously like with the current like situation when we're going into an endemic, like it's gonna be a lot different. So that's just an expectation. So don't expect. We'll try not to expect that much like what it was this year. Obviously it'll be a bit different, but we hope to.
Who knows? It could be bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next July.
Just casually putting us under pressure.
Bigger but with SOPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
So yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to promise anything now, but I feel like the only thing we can promise is we're not done.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely hear more from us. However the situation, presents itself. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think we just gotta be patient, but we are planning. We have plans, but we just don't know when.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.